Alright, guys, welcome back to another episode. Thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Abdul, and you are here with the boys back again for another episode. Let's hear it twice.
With the boys, Jason, you have to say the Jason and Shavi, not the name.
So we have Jason Hulangamu and Shavin the Pandanak right over there. I hope I'm on the right side. This side, I don't know. But alright, so on today's episode, we're gonna talk about space because we watched Interstellar, and that movie is actually pretty fucking sick. Okay, I know I said I don't like to watch space movies, but I take it back because this movie was insane, bro. If you haven't watched this movie, you can pause this episode, go back, watch
Come
this
back
thing,
like 3 hours
yeah,
later.
because I'm gonna spoil the fuck out of the movie. Okay, I don't give a shit if you watch it or not. But
It's
yeah,
okay. I
it
think
was a yeah.
we'll give a good recreation of it. Jason can be Murph.
I want to be the older brother.
Abba doesn't do shit, no?
No, I want. You know what? I want to be the grandfather, dude.
Why? He dies,
I
no?
I like.
And Bas, do you want to get buried at the back of a farm?
The grandpa was so ordinary, bro. He had nothing going on in his life.
Yeah.
Why doesn't anyone, dude? Why don't people want to be the ordinary character, man? Why does everyone want to be the big character? I want
Because
to be
we
the
are
ordinary character.
because we are already ordinary, dude. We are NPCs in this life.
Wait, no. Say that shit, man.
we are NPCs.
Nobody knows what it means, no.
Yeah, I don't know what it means, but I know what you're
Fuck.
talking about.
We are non-playable characters. You know, in a game like a story mode game, where you're like this big main character where you're supposed to save the world and shit, and then occasionally you see these random people walking around, and then you knock into them and they start shouting, "Hey, what the fuck are you doing?"
Oh, they repeat the same two lines that they have.
Yeah, so that's us. That is us.
Oh, is it the guy that you beat up in GTA? You know, the random dude you see and you beat him up because you're in GTA. Is just
Yeah.
me. Who does that?
No, I don't beat anyone up. I know.
Dude, that's fucked up.
Okay,
Yeah,
I didn't mean it like that. But diving straight into the topic, Shavi is the master of all space things.
Put me in the spotlight like that to you. No, but like it's a bit of a process to get you out to watch the movie. Especially Jason. I think Jason's not one for long movies, except Infinity War, I guess, and Endgame. But I think it was worth it, no?
Yeah, it was
First-
really worth it.
Our was shit, dude. Legend was falling asleep, but after it got pretty good.
Yeah, so that's why I said like it's one of those movies like they have to set up a lot to kind of make sure the consequences and everything are realized by the audience. But the reason we watched it was because we kind of wanted to get into the topic of space this episode, talk about the literal endless possibilities. Like it's so big that anything could happen. Like everyone, like especially if you're like a physics student, you'll probably say, "Oh yeah, the fucking laws of physics would dictate that this shit can't happen," but you don't fucking know. Like 100 years ago, they didn't even fucking know the laws of physics, and then they find that out, and then suddenly everyone says, this can't happen. Whereas like years before that, people were genuinely believing in the fact that the Earth was flat, and you would have gotten killed if you said otherwise.
Fall off the edge.
Yeah, you would fall off the edge. That was considered fact. So how are you to say that the shit that they say is fact now is actually a fact, and not something that we just know due to the limited resources we have?
So wait. Do you think the space landing was fake?
Yeah, it is actually Sri Lanka.
Oh,
No,
you're
no,
saying you believe that the moon landing was fake?
no. Moon landing was real, dude. Like, makes no sense to fake it. No, why would you fake it?
I don't know.
But-
That's what a lot of people believe, though. I have heard in the US. I know.
Yeah, but then isn't that also the place where you get so many flat earthers and people against vaccines? It's like people do that shit just to be different. It's like, you're cool if you don't believe what the general public believes. Same thing what's happening with the coronavirus now.
Oh shit!
But
You bring up the virus, bro. That is eternally fuck. People not wanting to wear masks. People wanting to fuck around. Do whatever they want. Shit, lad, it's insane.
Dude,
just
honestly, like, I don't know, you guys, I don't know if y'all have heard of the Narik Boys. That is like a YouTube channel of like pranksters, kind of. And they had this thing where, because in California, they have closed all the gyms, so they can't, like, work out and shit. So they had this thing called a bro test, like a protest, but with all the, like, the gym bros and shit. And like, they had it, like, I think yesterday or day before. And they had like thousands, like not thousands, maybe like hundreds of people there, like without masks and shit, like they don't give a fuck. But
Oh, they want to
honestly, I
reopen
like
gyms.
yeah, because the gyms were closed and they wanted to have gyms open, so they started bro testing.
That's funny,
Fucking
but still
stupid.
fuck, dude.
dude, that's still
Yeah,
fuck, dude. Like,
it's
what the
stupid.
fuck? Like, seriously, like, you can go a little while without fucking working out. Like, there's plenty of ways to work out at home. It's
Uh,
like this is going way off topic, but it's like this idea of freedom is ingrained in their head, like brain, so much that even when there are times that you do have to listen to someone in higher power, they're just like, no, we don't want to because freedom. It's just fucking stupid, dude. Like, fucking listen. That's all you have to do. Just and why it's just like stay home. Like, there's nothing hard about it. They're not asking you to fucking fight a war or some shit. It's literally just stay home and wear a fucking mask. But you get so many people freaking the fuck out and people thinking they're tough as shit for giving other people shit for wearing a mask. Saw this one video where this guy like he like a saleswoman approaches him and she offers him a mask. Like, she just offers the mask. Like, she doesn't like tell him directly, sir, wear the mask. He's like, sir, could you like, sir, we have a mask, would you like to wear it? And dude, he just goes off on her. He's like, who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I'm just shopping, I'm the customer, and all that shit. And then she starts crying and you're just like and you just know that he thought he was tough shit. He thought he stood up for something, and he was gonna go on fucking Facebook or some shit and then brag about it, saying, I stood up to the system. I'm David against fucking Goliath or some shit like that. But it's
Yeah,
just like, people
it's
doing their job.
unreasonable.
Yeah, it's like so many people want to be that tough person. And it's fucking dumb. It's just fucking dumb. Like, there's nothing else you can say about it. Yeah.
But then,
But
going back to the main topic of this episode, we watched Interstellar because we wanted to get a bit of insight into the space theories and shit. And Interstellar goes really deep into the actual laws of physics, and even past that. They bring in more than we live in a world of 3 dimensions, but they bring in time. Is it as a fourth one, and there's something else, right?
yeah, it's
gravity.
gravity.
Time
Yeah.
and gravity as two other physical
Four.
dimensions. So it becomes really insane once you put that into play and once you try to process it. If you haven't watched the movie, you obviously don't know what the fuck we're talking about. So take 3 hours of your time and watch it. But I'm telling you, it's a crazy movie, and I didn't expect to love it as much as I did, even though it was slow at the start. But that made me wonder what kind of mysteries that are out there in space. And I actually looked at the particular article. I want to bring it up because it was pretty interesting what they said.
No, but it's interesting, because like it's like, and it's hard to kind of imagine what a fourth dimension would look like. Like, if you picture anything, you always picture it with length, breadth, and height and all that shit. Like, even if you're asked to picture something in 2 dimensions, you picture a dot or you picture a line, but imagine that your entire world being 2 dimensions. It's still like, you can't just think of it as flat, right? Because I feel like flat is the wrong way of describing it, because I don't know, like, when I picture 2 dimensions, I always imagine myself like this really short person on top of a table or some shit. But even that is not the right way to imagine it. Like, what would things look like if you're also a 2-dimensional being? I don't know. Like, I can't fucking explain it. I can't picture it at all. The same goes for fourth dimension. Like, what would the fourth dimension be? there are shapes that like if you Google fourth dimension, I think a tesseract is a fourth dimensional shape where there like there's a knot or something. That's another shape. Like basically a knot like this in 3 dimensions can't remove like come away from each other, but in the fourth dimension it's interlocking in a different plane, so you can remove it like that without the two ends disconnecting, but obviously you can't do that now because
Bro, that's like a magic trick, bro. It messes my mind so much.
Dude, my mind's getting
Yeah,
fucked too. What
dude.
the fuck?
That is insane considering the possibility that there are more than 3 dimensions. But even like the fact that there might be other species out there, because I found something else. Okay, I didn't know what I was talking about before, but what I wanted to bring up was
that's about space.
yeah, it's some weirdest thing. But I saw something else, and it says humanity is but a tiny speck on the planet within a galaxy that itself makes up just a tiny infinitesimal fraction of the universe. In fact, the universe is so vast, we've explored far less than 0.1% of it. That's the part I want to highlight. We've explored
I
less
highly
than
doubt
0.1% of it.
because I think if it's the universe, it's far less than 0.1. Dude, 0.1 is a lot.
Yeah, exactly. It's exactly that's far less than 0.1% of the universe, and that is crazy. That is unimaginable how many possibilities that are there. Doppelgangers, we believe in doppelgangers. Antimatter, the antimatter
Yeah.
universe, multiverse, shit like entering into like a Marvel zone also now with all the possibilities. But it's actually really interesting because I don't think they will ever really figure out
Yeah.
everything to the ends of the universe.
It's I don't know, dude. For me, that's kind of depressing. No, the fact that it's very unlikely that we would ever actually learn everything there's like to figure out how exactly all of this works. Like for example, like if I had to find out one thing, like say that I wanted to find out one thing about all this shit, it would be like how all of this started. But I don't think we'll ever figure that out. Like for example, right? They say the universe is infinite, but you can't really picture infinite because you always imagine something being contained in something else. Right? You think of a ball, even if it's suspended in the air, there's still stuff around it. But can you actually picture infinity? Like I don't know. For me, I always picture like for me, it's hard to grasp the fact that there's no end to the universe. Like I feel like at some point there should be, but even then, like if the universe has an end, what is beyond that end? Because it can't just be nothing. Because when there's a break in something, there's always something on the other side. Like
Yeah, I think
you take the fucking bottle, you take this as the universe, and the bottle is here. And like if this is the edge of the universe, the universe is supposed to be contained in something, but it's not, and it fucks me up because you can't picture that.
and if you just imagine us being that, the universe being that bottle, just imagine how tiny our freaking world is and how tiny people are. Shit like that. You compare all of that. Then you think about the possibility that there might be other species out there living
There
their
has to be.
lives, chilling. Wondering the same thoughts, wondering the same things. It's very interesting. Think about all this.
But I don't know. I like the fact that if there is another group of species living somewhere, I'd love for fucking everyone to just not explore this other species and just leave them the fuck alone. Because I
Yeah,
watched too
you
many of
always.
these fucking alien movies where
Yeah,
shit goes wrong when like dude, you watch that Jimmy Neutron movie where they send the toast into space and then get invaded by aliens and all the parents are gone. I don't want none of
yeah.
that shit.
No, but just to think about this. Just imagine the aliens watching horror movies about humans. I know
Yeah,
that doesn't
Oh,
make
that's
as
fucked up, no?
that doesn't make
That's
as much
racist, no?
sense. Yeah, it doesn't
That's
make as
racist,
much
no?
sense. But then for them, they're the aliens, so they have alien movies, but it's not them. I don't know. It's really fucked
So
up.
yeah,
Like
shit.
It'll be aliens being scared by other aliens.
Yeah, there could be
Dude,
possibilities where they have a podcast too. They have three chilled out dudes.
Talking about
Infinite
yeah,
possibilities.
but I think it's scarier to think that there's no one else, considering how big the universe is. Like, that's pretty fucked up if you think about it. Like that. That makes me feel like super alone. Thinking,
what the fuck?
no, dude. Like,
Yeah,
think about it. Like,
yeah, I sort of felt it too when you think about how big the universe is and how small you can
yeah,
be in that universe.
yeah,
That is in a way
and
true.
realizing that we are the only ones there. That's fucked up. No, like, because I feel like the chance of there not being a different species is a lot lower than there actually being aliens, considering just how many planets there are, how many solar systems there are. Like, this is literally in the trillions of trillions, like big numbers, like big ass fucking numbers, like with like 24 zeros and shit. These are the numbers we're talking about. And for someone to tell you that out of all of those, it's just in one that there's sentient beings is fucked up. Because, like, if you take the chance of, and it's just, even if you consider the fact that it has to be the exact same conditions as Earth for life to be there, which it doesn't have to be. I feel like I think it should be just as likely for life to be there without water and shit. Like, it's just that we look for water in other planets because that's what we know for sure is a building block for life. But it doesn't have to be. Like, you could get freaking beings made out of, I don't fucking know, dude. Like, fucking really anything
Basically,
else.
who don't need water to survive.
Yeah, exactly. Like, non-carbon based life forms could
Yeah,
easily be a thing, but obviously it's easier to look at what you already know, rather otherwise literally every single planet could be a possibility. Well, not literally every single, but far larger. And yeah, like, that shit's scary, dude. Thinking that we would be the only ones alive, and that's like another thing in Interstellar that came up was the existence of beings of high dimensions.
All of that shit was trippy, man. When that, oh, fuck.
that was a very trippy moment.
But
That
before
is.
that, I love the fact that they spoke about the wormholes and shit, and then when they said wormholes are spheres, that blew my mind, dude. I used to think that it's like one hole here, one hole on the other side, and like a tube in the middle.
So Shavi, I think you can explain to us of how wormholes actually.
Like in the
Okay,
movie.
so he explained something about like spheres and stuff. To be honest, I'm not too sure about that. It's something to do with how a circle in 3 dimensions is a sphere, and a wormhole is always depicted in pictures as a circle, but that's because a paper is 2D, and you can't represent something 3D in 2D. Usually you can't. You can, but it doesn't really work. But in reality, because the wormhole is a 3-dimensional element, it's actually a sphere. But how wormholes, that guy explained, works is you get two uh, points in space, like, say, like, this is Earth and this is some fucking other place in the universe. And like he said, how wormholes works is it creates a connection through space and time like that, and makes like through a rupture in space and time, it creates a shortcut, is how they explained it. And I think I don't know if I explained it nearly as well, but that's basically what happens. So instead of traveling from here to here, you go through the tunnel and you're instantly there. You go from here and then you're instantly there. That's how they explain
I know,
wormholes
but
in the
anyone listening to the explanation knows it's so mind blowing. Just even thinking about the idea of traveling from one place to another. In the end, this episode became a breakdown of Interstellar.
yeah. That's
So spoiler alert, it's a
yeah, we
full
should
breakdown
probably
of Interstellar. But it's straight up a very interesting movie. It has a slow start, but it picks up really fast, and it needed that slow start to sort of boost the effect
To have
of
that
the
ground base for
ending.
everything. Yeah. Coming back down to earth, I think Abdul, you have.
That was good.
Yes,
Also,
I have some information from the cancel culture movement, and they
Oh
have
shit.
found their new target, Ellen DeGeneres. Okay, as of
Adam.
this podcast, it is the hot topic. It is the topic everyone's talking about. I hope they're still
More
talking
like
about.
Ellen Degenerate.
I heard that before.
Fuck.
No,
I
but
didn't see it.
the interesting part of it is that people are blaming her also about it. Now, see, the whole thing that happened is the
Yeah,
employees that
explain.
let me explain the whole thing that I'm talking about. Okay, but the whole point is, employees complaining about misconduct and harassment and shit, and all these allegations about sexual misconduct and sexual harassment are against the head employees and not Ellen. But Ellen has been accused of treating her employees badly. Like there was something about chewing gum or some shit that she hates the people that smell. So I heard David Dobrik is one of the potential replacements. I heard Jason, you mentioned Jennifer Aniston. Was that also one?
Jennifer Aniston. I think Mila Kunis was one.
Oh shit.
And someone else. I saw it on a Snapchat story. I wasn't too into the whole topic, but then I just read a bit about it here and there, and I just saw three names. One was Jennifer Aniston, one was Mila Kunis, and I couldn't remember the third one.
I haven't heard of Mila Kunis in a long time, to be honest.
She has a nice vibe. I think she'd be a good talk
No,
show.
she is. I really like her, dude. She seems like a nice person as well.
I heard even
Like,
James Corden was gunning for that
Yeah,
spot.
and James Corden, but that's highly unlikely or something like
Exactly,
that.
it is.
Because I think his show is doing pretty well, and I like watching that. I wouldn't want him to switch to a Ellen kind of format.
Yeah, I heard so somewhere. Okay, I know where I heard so. I didn't want to bring this up, but I heard so of number one podcast in the world, Impulsive. Not us,
Yeah,
it's Impulsive. But yeah, I think even Impulsive is doing really sick, dude. They have a very large following. I don't generally watch their podcasts, but I recently have been watching their podcasts. It's pretty interesting.
so yeah. Going into a deeper topic this week, I think all of us saw on the news and all that stuff as well that the people of Lebanon had a very unfortunate incident. I think an explosion that happened somewhere in a port area of Lebanon.
Beirut,
Had
Lebanon.
Yeah, it was a fireworks warehouse, if I'm right.
Yeah. They're saying it was a fireworks warehouse, but nobody really knows the real cause. So I think our heartfelt condolences go out to the families of the victims of this unfortunate incident.
It's hard to imagine what they're going through and stuff. Like it's shocking. Like you never expect something like this to happen to you, and then suddenly it happens to you, and you just have to deal with it. And like it's important for them to know as well that people around the world are thinking of them and hoping for the best for them, and that's we're hoping that they get the support they need. And I think awareness is important, and we're hoping to spread that as well.
And I think the country is also facing a really tough time at the moment.
Exactly. Yeah,
And for this to happen is really unfortunate.
I think that's one thing also that it's hard to relate to because amount of shit that's going on at the moment, along with the disasters that just happened, and with the virus, people are struggling to cope with the virus, and the virus alone itself is a killer of this thing. And on top of that, the explosion and the aftermath also of the explosion. Even the people, just imagine the people who did survive, but are still counted as missing. Even those kind of people, the struggles, difficulties. There was this one video of a man trying to protect his kid, and I
Yeah,
believe it's possibly the aftermath or even before, or like while everything was going down. Like he hides under the table and tries to protect his own kid, I just even know what to do. Even if you're a parent at that situation where it's just life versus death, you don't really know what exactly to do. But it's very hard to imagine what's going on uh, with the families there, and I think we should consider ourselves blessed to be in a place where we can do the things that we want, and we have the opportunity. Because I think our biggest audience could possibly be in Sri Lanka, and I think Sri Lanka is doing really well when it comes to handling the virus and doing all of that. So the whole part of being blessed to be where we are, and being able to do the things that we can do with our family and our loved ones, I think is a great thing. Yeah. So with that being said, we're gonna put some links in the description to show some support to the Lebanese families, and to donate as well. So I hope this helps even a few people. And yeah, I think that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.